ever walked into a big meeting ready to crush it, only to just really blank out the second you opened your mouth? Or maybe you left a tough conversation kicking yourself thinking, why didn't I say what I really wanted to say? It's not that you're unprepared or that you don't have what it takes. What's happening goes way deeper. It's your fight, flight, or freeze response taking over. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I help people excel under pressure and turn stress into clarity, confidence, and control. In today's video, I'm breaking down exactly what happens to your brain under pressure, why your stress response can hijack your ability to think clearly, and most importantly, how you can train your brain to perform at its best when the stakes are at their highest. So let's start with looking at the science here. When your brain perceives a threat, whether it's a tiger chasing you, I know that sounds so far-fetched, right? Or it's your boss asking for a tough question right in front of the board, your amygdala, which is basically your brain's alarm system, it slams the panic button. In an instant, your body floods with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate spikes and your breathing quickens, and your palms also get really sweaty, right? Blood flow is redirected from your prefrontal cortex. It's basically the part of your brain responsible for logic, memory, and decision making. And all of that blood flow goes straight to your muscles, priming you to move. So basically, your rational brain literally goes offline. And that's why you might be stumbling over your words, you're losing your train of thought, or you just freeze in place, which is the worst, right? Research from Harvard Medical School has shown that under acute stress, working memory capacity can drop by 12 to 15%. And I've been there sometimes where I've been stressed out, I've lost my train of thought, I am fumbling for words, and I think that it is greater than that 12 or 15%. But we will go with what Harvard has to say for here. Imagine trying to deliver a high-stakes presentation with 15% less brain power. So no wonder it feels like your brain literally betrays you when the pressure heightens, right? So now let's make this real. How does fight, flight, or freeze actually show up in our everyday lives? So fight looks like snapping back at someone in a meeting, or getting defensive, or saying something you didn't mean just because your stress response was running the show. Flight, it looks like dodging conflict, avoiding those tough conversations, procrastinating or sending that email, or changing the subject to escape the pressure. And freeze, it's the classic brain fog moment. You blank out in front of a room, you forget what you were going to say, or you just sit there, unable to move forward. So do any of these situations sound familiar? Here's the thing, you're not broken. Everyone goes through this. It's just about the way that you manage it. You're wired this way. This response was designed to keep us alive thousands of years ago. The problem is that your brain doesn't know the difference between a lion and the boardroom full of executives. Stress is stress, no matter which way you look at it. And the good news here is that biology isn't destiny. You can actually train your nervous system to respond differently so that your brain under pressure works for you and not against you. But you have to be mindful to do the work in order to get there, because it does take a lot of practice. It's not something that comes easily, right? So here are 5 proven strategies, and they tie directly into what I teach in the CLEAR method. So the first strategy is clarity. Calm your response. Try things like box breathing, where you want to inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 4, and hold for 4 more. This is something that even Navy SEALs use to stay calm under fire. So give it a shot. Or maybe grounding techniques, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Name 5 things that you see, 4 things that you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 that you smell, and 1 that you taste. This brings your brain back online, believe it or not. So, sounds like some quirky trips, right? But they will give you some opportunity to calm the response. Trick number 2 is leverage. So let's reframe stress. A Harvard study found that simply telling yourself, I'm excited, instead of I'm nervous, can dramatically improve performance. And fear and excitement feel almost identical to the body. The difference is the way that you are letting yourself interpret it. So when you feel really crazy because you are nervous as heck about a presentation or something going on, tell yourself that you're excited instead. Smile, try to find a happy place. I know that sounds like messed up, but sometimes when you catch it when it's happening and you try to reframe things, your brain doesn't know the difference. Tip number 3 is emotional intelligence. So train under pressure. Don't just practice in perfect conditions. Rehearse with distractions. Role play tough conversations, or add a time limit to stimulate real stress. This is something that you could even do with a friend or a colleague. It's something that you could even do by yourself if you feel self-conscious. You could even record yourself on Zoom or Teams or any of those platforms and play it back to yourself, or even a voice recorder on your phone works just great. But it gives the opportunity for you to hear yourself, because sometimes you need to hear yourself in order to see maybe your tone or how you're responding to difficult questions, things like that. So find some friends, people that actually are on your side and cheering you on to help you practice and to rehearse even when there's distractions or some tough questions. And the more you expose your brain to controlled stress, the faster it learns that high stakes don't have to mean danger. So express yourself and expose yourself at different times that maybe you're not signed up for a presentation, or maybe you're in a meeting with some people. Put yourself out there a little bit, even if it feels a little bit stressful, but maybe small steps, right? Small situations where you can learn how to deal with it a bit. And assertiveness. Script and strategize. So when your brain blanks out, a pre-planned phrase can be a lifesaver. So something that like you can keep at the top of your mind. Try saying things like, that's a great point. Let me think about that. Or let's circle back to this. Just taking even a pause gives an opportunity for your brain to get out of that fight, flight, or freeze mode and to get some oxygen and think a little bit. So, and it seems like a very weird thing to yourself when you're doing it, but to those you're talking to or speaking to or presenting to, if you're answering a question that might be coming in or something difficult, it makes them feel like you're really being thoughtful and you're thinking about your words and what you want to say. So it's not always a bad thing. It may make you look a lot more confident and thoughtful. And identify your triggers like interruptions and plan your responses ahead of time. So if you can kind of put together a bit of a script, practice it a lot, it'll stay in your brain more than you think. And a 5th tip is resilience. Let's build long-term habits. So exercise reduces baseline cortisol level, so try that. Sleep is critical. One study found that even one night of poor sleep, it increases the amygdala reactivity by 60%, believe it or not. So those of you who are not good sleepers, find a way to get better sleep, whether it's through improving your sleep habits or seeing your doctor to get that figured out, because that will destroy a lot of things in your life. Your metabolism, your thought process, your reactiveness, everything. So sleep is vital. And mindfulness and journaling can help your brain process stress instead of storing it. So great opportunity to put some words on paper, maybe at the end of your day, what went well, what didn't go well. Maybe it's something you're planning, maybe a meeting or a presentation, and jotting down some things that you're in your head and in your mind, and just really getting that off your back. And maybe in the morning when you get up, taking a look at that and fine-tuning it even further. So practicing using habits, getting good sleep, eating healthy, all of those things will help you be resilient and to have less stress in your life. So these tools don't erase stress. Stress is just part of our life, right? But they train your system to work with it, so you can show up clear, confident, and composed. So here's the real takeaway here. Your fight, flight, or freeze response isn't a weakness. It's wiring. And wiring can be rewired when you make it happen. So when you learn to recognize your stress responses and apply these strategies, you take back control from your nervous system. You're able to think clearly, communicate effectively, and perform at your best, even when the pressure is on. And it always feels like the pressure's on, right? So the sooner that we can put these tactics together, the better we will be for family, friends, colleagues, executive presence, all of it. So think of this as your all-encompassing way of improving your life from many directions. And that's exactly why I created the CLEAR method. It's a proven framework to help anyone calm your response, leverage stress into clarity, and lead with confidence in high-stake situations. So if this resonated with you, hit the subscribe button, share this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video on human performance under pressure. And if you want to go deeper, check out the link in the description to learn more about the CLEAR method and how it can help you perform at your best when it matters most. So if you found this content helpful, valuable, like I mentioned, please consider subscribing, please consider sharing. And remember, your brain isn't betraying you, it's protecting you. But with the right training, you could protect your career, your confidence, and your future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.